You know, geekguilt.com, Smash Brothers
Absolutely.
Gaming.
Absolutely. Great guy. Gave us lots of goodies.
This dude sent me, totally unprompted, he sent me another mod called Simpsons Kart 64. He made his own Mario Kart mod of the Simpsons.
Oh.
And it came in this cute little donut box.
That's amazing.
And it says on the inside, thank you for your support. We hope you enjoy the game Geek Guilt. And it came with a Duff orange sparkling beverage drink.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that cute?
That is cute.
And a nice yellow with hologram Simpsons cart. You turn on the game, Homer goes like woohoo, and kart racing or something like that. And it's pretty in depth, pretty nice work. But funny story about this box. My little daughter, she's 6 now. Kid loves donuts. Kids always love donuts.
Of course.
Donuts is a big part of the Sunday plans normally. Before church, we normally grab a donut.
Oh, nice.
Right? Doesn't that sound nice?
It does.
and it's at that place that we shot, where you were the cop and stuff. Those nice fresh donuts. Remember how fresh they smelled and how like brand new they were?
And I just remember that like the woman with the buck teeth like staring at us.
Are you a real police officer? So she, Gloria, has decided that she's a cook and that she can make her own donuts. So what she does is she takes a big old sandwich roll, like a kind of a fluffy sandwich roll. And she takes chocolate cake frosting and she pours it all over the fucking bread roll. And then she's got herself a donut. And I said, like, what that's a donut? She goes, yeah, the recipe's really simple. Bread, chocolate, and that's it. You've got a donut.
I used to do that stuff all the time because, I always wanted to cook even when I was a little kid. But I would take just like a can of Campbell's soup and put it in a pot and be like, I'm a chef.
That's so funny. Well, so this is sitting on our dining room table. It had come in. And she had just taken this frosting. The kid loves frosting too. And she sprays it all over this bread. There's, chocolate bread mess. She's got her donut. It looks real cute. She looks real cute. I turned my back for 1 second. I go to get like a drink for myself or something. I turn back around. She's emptied this. Like the N64 cartridge is no longer in there. The Duff is no longer in there. She's stuffed the bread donut into the box, into this box. And she closed it up and she's headed to the fridge with it. She's going to go store
Save it for later.
And I was like, whoa, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm sorry, Dad. Dad, I'm sorry. I was like, no, it's okay. It's just, I was going to show this on the podcast. And she was like, can I have it when you're done on the podcast? So now that we've shown that this goes back to her, this is going to be her special donut box that she can put homemade donuts in.
That's awesome.
But how cool that we get sent. I mean, this is one of my favorite parts of the podcast is we get sent this cool shit from people who make homemade things and just want to share it with us, which is just such fun. So, yeah. And I guess you can buy it at geekguilt.com.
That's good. Yeah. I did the Dreamcast video with his kit. It's a good place.
And they've got their mod kits and they got good stuff. He posts a lot of Instagram, like small Instagram video content that is really quite fun. Then there's another guy named, I think his name is like Terrible Jedi or something. Is that his name? I should look for him. Yes. Terrible Deli. Terrible Deli said, hey, Frankie, I've got one of those big, kind of like Duplos Megazords from Power Rangers.
Oh yeah.
Do you want it? And I was kind of answering email quick and I was like, yeah, if you want, sure. I was like, I'll take a Power Ranger. I got a Power Ranger toy collection. In comes this huge box. I forgot that I spoke to him. I thought it was a shitload of macaroni and cheese because Nina sent me.
No, Mac.
Oh God. Because as much as like it's awesome that people want to send stuff, it's a little bit of like it feels like kind of like a video assignment. Like there's going to be we have to make the time to shoot and then there's the Macs themselves. You got to do and I think the problem is like they expire. And up to this point, we've been just so good about like if you send something, we do something with it. like without exception. And it's just like at a certain point, it's gotten a little like we just recently crossed 20,000 subscribers, and like the operation is scaled up just enough where it's like it's no longer practical to like give everyone their due. But I was always wondering if that day would ever come. I think that day is like just about over the hill.
Yeah. It's just like how I can't be attentive to the Discord all the time either. Or
Yeah.
when I could have a couple years ago.
I've still responded to every email I get, including it turns out our Chat GPT guy is real, and he had hurt feelings over our.
I don't even think we were being all that mean to him. I still thought he was a real person, even.
I thought it was perfectly possible, but it was an odd email, and I wanted to have a little bit of a chuckle. I didn't mean to be toxic, or whatever the words are these days. So anyway, this dude sends me.
Oh my God, that thing's huge.
Oh my God. And it's got a teacup on this shoulder because Gloria said that this is her bedroom. And for some reason, it's a teacup. I don't know. Kids come up with the strangest shit.
Is it glued on there?
She's got some tape there. This kid's Scotch tape. Everything is Scotch tape.
Nice.
So what you do is you take these little Power Ranger characters and you position them on these little platforms, and then they perform. Like if you twist this thing comes out. It doesn't detach like the classic Megazord. Like you can't turn it into all the individual Zords. It's more like a kind of like a dream house sort of, which is cool. And they weren't satisfied with just sending me the Megazord. They sent me a big plastic bag filled with Power Rangers toys.
Oh, nice.
Rita and the Triceratops and Jason and Kimberly and Putties. And I thought, wow, this is awesome. And we played a pretty epic like action figure session in the living room.
Nice.
Where you're just coming up with micro dramas and all. They're like, now there's two Billies. Oh my God, which one's the real one? And like, oh my God,
I'm the real Billy.
Yeah, exactly. Gloria at one point, like I had to go to the bathroom. I come back out, and she has like these toy musical instruments, and she set up like Lord Zed and Goldar, and they're holding like guitars and like flutes and stuff, and they have like Kimberly in the middle. And I was like, what the hell is this? And she's like, this is they're forcing her to marry them, and this is their wedding. Like they're performing at her wedding.
It is funny how different like boys and girls play with things. Cause like Gabriel's cousins came over and the boys were playing with the Mario characters. And what they did was just assort them into good and evil.
Oh wow.
And then the girl came in and she took the toys and she set up a whole scene with a story. And so it's like, it's just so different because it's like the boys just want to know down and dirty who was good, who was evil.
But this it's forced marriages, and it's a lot of like little dramas, a lot of little like people feeling betrayed by one another and that kind of thing. And then do you remember I was like we started playing Disney Infinity sometime last year,
right?
And we kind of needed some of the knockoff toys and shit. Well, like this dude, he sends me a giant bag, a huge bag of Disney Infinities, which is so much fun. It's got like a headless Mrs. Incredible. It's got Sully. It's got the Lone Ranger, Johnny Depp.
Whoa, they made Lone Ranger Johnny Depp.
Can you believe that? 2015, things still weren't quite where they are now. You got Jessie from Toy Story. Just such a nice thought, and it was it actually made for like some really awesome play in the house, and perhaps most criminal of all though, when I saw the packaging, it was $105 in shipping, and I was like, no, and he was like, yeah, I didn't know it was going to be that much when I went to send it out, but hey, thanks so much. It was that was really an awesome.
They paid for a lot of joy.
It did. Yeah, you passed the savings on to me in my happy life. I've been appearing on some podcasts lately.
All right, yeah.
Two podcasts that haven't gotten a tremendous number of views, either one of them. One of them is called The Loud Podcast on a channel called Ranked and Reviewed. These Australian dudes in Melbourne who are musicians, and they just love movies. They have a really teeny YouTube channel, and they asked me to come talk to them. So we spoke for a while. And it was a pretty good conversation about box office and a lot of stuff you expect to see here. And then toward the end, I was talking a little bit about weight loss, and the one dude, I guess kind of the main one, was like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about." Like I was addicted to methamphetamine a few years ago, and like I've been I was able to kick meth, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And so like the conversation took a very different, because when I was talking about like Kevin Smith and weed and stuff, it took a very different turn where suddenly we were talking about like drug addiction. So it was a pretty interesting conversation. So you check them out if you want to hear more.
Is that the one you cleaned up with the AI?
Yeah. So there's a fuck up. They invited me to whatever service they were using. It wasn't Zoom, but it was something like it. And I always use this for the mic. And this service it wasn't obvious to me how to how to verify what mic I was using. So I asked them, I was like, hey, can you guys hear me okay? And they said, yes, we can hear you. But I think they were hearing me from my Mac mic. And so it sounded bad, and maybe they were too polite to be like, actually, your audio is not great, and you're sitting right in front of a microphone. Shouldn't it be better than this? So I took the audio and I ran it through Adobe's AI audio cleaner thingy. And, look, we've been working with video and audio all of our lives. And I think like we've all come home with shitty audio and we're like, oh no, what am I going to do? The audio is horrible. And you're looking for any kind of Audition plugin or anything that might clean, and you've never found it, right? There's no such thing as fixing bad audio. You can touch up flawed audio. That's about all you've been able to do historically. Like for instance, if there's noise in the background that's all around the same consistent frequency, you can knock that frequency out. Dude, AI. It took my audio and it made it not perfect because it was recorded over the internet and there was latency in that stream anyway. And so it did, when there was like network,
there's a warbliness that you couldn't really get rid of, but
right. But I think that was related more to the network latency than it was related to anything else. Or when we talked over one another, because I didn't have unlike this recording, where we use this service called Riverside, where we both have isolated recordings that get married, and that's why it looks and sounds so nice. But these tracks were married. And so anytime we spoke over one another, I basically went in and kind of like just used the original recording because it sounded better. But the AI took, when it was clean, when it was just me speaking, it took my audio and it made it like sound pretty much immaculate. Natural inclination to say hello to strangers. So like somebody was passing me with their dog and I said hello and they went, good day. Natural inclination to say hello to strangers. So like somebody was passing me with their dog and I said hello and they went, good day.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes it sounds like it like transcribed you and then like redid your voice. I don't know what exactly
it might have. You know what? That might be exactly how it accomplished it. Right? It might
like
be
sometimes your inflection would go away sometimes,
or it wouldn't sound quite like Frankie, or it sound like a computer impersonation of Frankie.
Yeah. It was strange. I mean, it was completely like after a while, it was completely listenable. Like you would forget even that it was processed. Like I could tell right away. It's like, oh, it's definitely cleaner. It sounds cleaner, but there's something off about it. But then after you're listening to it for like an hour, you're just like, oh, this is fine.
I mean, it sounded so good. It made me wonder, like, will a day come where you don't even like if the iPhone, which already looks pretty amazing, if it had a real-time AI processor for all audio, would you just not need external audio recording? Could you just record with a shitty mic and let AI do the rest? Will that day come?
I'm sure that day will come because they already do a little bit of processing, and now it'll just be overcharged with AI. You could turn it on probably.
This thing is free. It's on you use a website. It's called Adobe Podcast, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a product that they bundle with Creative Cloud soon.
Yeah, or maybe a Premiere plugin or an Audition plugin. I don't know, but yeah, it seems like it's experimental, free. Right now.
Yeah.
Kind of like how like Adobe Express, the online kind of light version of photo editing, has a lot of AI features that like I don't think Photoshop has all of them.
But yeah, I mean that could be a lifesaver, and because we do a lot of interviews at work, and a lot of people are just using their onboard mics. But sometimes they have like a fan going on overhead, and it'd be just great to chug it through an AI and clean it all up.
Like even with the warbliness, if you were cutting together a package for work, and you just clean it up to the extent that it was cleaned up, and then you layered a little bit of music in there,
oh yeah,
you could probably smooth it right out.
It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then I was also on a show called The Disaster Cast, and that was much longer. I was on there for like almost 3 hours. We talked about my filmmaking origins and YouTube and more James Rolfe. And it was a good conversation. Went on and on and on. And so you can search for Disaster Squadcast. And you know what? This dude interviewed Hungry Garaya too, which is kind of funny.
Oh, interesting.
So I've been on shows. It's hard to squeeze in time to do other stuff like this, though. James Rolfe jokes aside. But it was nice to be able to make a little time to talk to other people. It's just nice to connect with people around the world who are watching your stuff. It's so strange, you know?
Yeah, it's so strange you can do it so easily. And
yeah, like there's nothing like it, you know, for in the before times. Like pen pals. Remember, I used to have a pen pal.
Yeah.
I was like psyched when a new letter came in.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.